Have you ever looked at the state of the world, all the crises we're facing, and just felt stuck? Well, today we're diving into a powerful new way of looking at this problem. It suggests that the biggest barrier to change isn't out there. It's actually a hidden force inside our own minds.
Right? I mean, we see the news, we read the reports, we know the challenges are urgent. But for so many of us, there's this huge gap between knowing something needs to be done and actually doing it. It's like a kind of global paralysis. So, what's really going on here?
Well, the material we're exploring today makes a really fascinating argument. It says the real obstacle isn't just about politics or economics, it's something much closer to home, an invisible architect in our heads that quietly builds the reality we live in, and our inaction along with it.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This hidden force has a name, the I thought. And understanding this concept is frankly a game changer for figuring out why our best intentions so often just fizzle out.
Now, this is so important. The I thought isn't one single deliberate thought. Think of it more like a web, a whole tangle of subconscious assumptions and old beliefs that run on autopilot. It shapes our world without us even realizing it's happening.
And here's what it sounds like in the wild. I bet you've heard these or even said them yourself. I thought someone else was on it. Or, I thought my job was just to worry about me and mine. They seem so harmless, right? But each one is a tiny act of stepping back, of handing off responsibility.
And that's the crucial part. This isn't just about one person's mental habit. When you take that little step back and multiply it by millions or even billions of people, you get this massive collective inertia. It becomes a systemic brake that stops us from tackling the big stuff.
And look how lightning fast this is. It happens in the blink of an eye. You see a headline about deforestation, your brain pulls up a memory of someone saying, "Oh, the government's on that." You feel a little flicker of relief, and boom, the assumption is made, "I thought it was handled." The result? You do nothing. It all happens before you even have a chance to think consciously about it.
So, if the I thought is this automatic, passive program running in the background, how do you fight it? Well, you don't. You replace it with something stronger, something that's active and conscious. You replace it with a clear sense of purpose.
So yeah, if the I thought is the lock that's keeping us all stuck, what's the key? The answer, it turns out, comes from this really incredible Japanese concept. And here it is, Ikigai. It literally means a reason for being. It's a framework designed to help you find your unique purpose. Instead of just reacting based on old subconscious patterns, Ikigai asks you to consciously figure out what truly drives you.
And the way it works is just beautiful. It's based on these 4 simple but profound questions. What do you absolutely love to do? What does the world genuinely need? What are you really good at? And what can you get paid for? The magic, your Ikigai, is right there in the middle, where all 4 of those circles overlap.
I mean, look at the difference here. It's night and day, isn't it? The I thought is automatic, passive, and stuck in the past. Ikigai is conscious, active, and focused on building a better future. It is the perfect antidote to that architect of inaction.
Okay, so having a framework for purpose is amazing, but a map is pretty useless if you don't actually go on the journey, right? So how do we take this idea of Ikigai and actually put it to work in our own lives and communities?
This is where a whole new vision for education comes in, and it's called Empowered ED. It's a system designed from the ground up to help people connect their personal Ikigai to real, tangible projects right there in their own communities. It's all about purpose-driven learning.
And here's where it gets even bigger. Empowered isn't just a standalone program. It's actually a key piece of a much larger ecosystem called Phoenix. You can think of it like a new kind of operating system for the entire planet, designed for regeneration. So, let's see how the pieces fit together. Empowered gives you the skills and the purpose-driven knowledge. But of course, ideas need fuel to become reality. That's where another part of the system comes in, the Community and Ecosystem Regeneration Funds, or CERF. This is what provides the financial backing to turn that education into real-world impact.
Now, to make sure this whole engine is running smoothly and getting smarter over time, there's a third piece called Pulse. You can think of Pulse as the system's nervous system. It monitors how these projects are actually doing on the ground and creates this constant feedback loop, so the education gets better and the investments get smarter. The whole thing is designed to learn.
And this is the vision in a nutshell. Empower Ed, CERF, and Pulse aren't just separate tools. They're designed to work together like a single living organism, one that can sense,
learn, adapt, and scale up regenerative action all over the world.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, this brings us to the ultimate goal of this entire architecture, which is to go from an individual finding their purpose to a whole planet healing itself.
And what emerges from this system is something the source material calls islands of coherence. And I love that phrase. These aren't just isolated projects. They are living, breathing laboratories for a regenerative future, where that connection between our inner purpose and our outer actions becomes real and visible.
But, and this is key, these islands are not meant to be alone. The whole Phoenix system is designed to weave them together, creating a global network where communities can share what they're learning, coordinate their efforts, and build a truly decentralized movement for regeneration.
And that really brings us right back to where we started. We can talk about technology and policy all day, but the argument here is that the most fundamental change has to happen inside our heads. The future will be built on the inner architecture of how we think.
So, to wrap this up, the final question isn't for some big organization. It's actually for you. Start listening for that quiet, automatic voice in your head. What's the I thought that's been guiding your actions? Or maybe your inactions? What invisible barrier might be holding you back? And what would it take to challenge it, starting today?